I Should Be Writing Season 20, Episode 19.
Well, I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast and live stream for wannabe fiction writers. I'm your host, Mur Lafferty. I've written about 8 books. I've done 2 IP books. I've been podcasting since 2004. And, I don't know. I got credentials. They are leaving my head. Usually this is a podcast for, we talk about variety of things, either craft or the emotions that get in your way when you're a new writer. But today I'm having kind of a crappy week and I still wanted to do a live stream. So we are here playing with a deck of worlds and the story engine. And I hope I will have the energy to put the video up on YouTube, because I think it will benefit from video, but I'll be narrating what we're seeing anyway. If you want to know what I'm working on, I'm still working on edits to my novel. I got some good words in today. I'm happy with where I'm going, and I was actually able to salvage some. So that's like words I don't have to throw in the bin, as the Brits say. But yeah, we're going to start with the deck of worlds. We're going to build us a world. So you'll notice that I have already lost the instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's better when you actually know the instructions. But you've got a region card, landmark card, namesake card, origin card, attribute card, and advent card. So I'll just grab 3 of each, and we'll see what we come up with. I've played with this some, but I haven't actually used it to brainstorm, and that's technically what I'm doing today. Technically brainstorming. All right, getting rid of the box. All right, for our region, what do we got? Region? Is this region? Region card. We have grassland, swamp, and moraine. Now, the fun thing here is I don't know what moraine means, and I get to announce that on the internet. So I could either look that up or beg someone in chat to tell me, and I'll be embarrassed, but it'll probably go faster. I have a stain on my desk. Look at that. Anyway, does anybody know what moraine means? It looks, actually looks like a desert seen from very high. Area near a glacier. Well, usually a desert, just not a, yeah. So, area near a glacier, so it's going to be cold, and hoarfrost, I believe, would be used in description. Material left behind after a glacier moves. Okay, so grassland I find pretty boring. Swamp or moraine? I think I want to go with swamp. I like swamps. If anybody has any other opinions, I'm going to put the other 2 cards here if you want to make your own out of these. And so Advent, let's see what Advent is. Advent looks like this is something that's happening if you want your story to be driven by a conflict that has to do with your land. So there's actually 6 here because each one has 2. So I'm going to read them. Stars are disappearing from the night sky due to pollution, an optical illusion, or something supernatural. The contents of an important archive are being held hostage. A library, museum, or art gallery. Swamp art gallery. I'm amused by this. We are Shrek now. The conflict is getting people out of our swamp. A rare celestial phenomenon is about to be visible. An eclipse, meteor shower, or exploding star. Unemployment is at an all-time high. Swamp unemployment. Triggering social unrest, economic regression, or immigration of workers. Immigration. A worker strike is shutting down the area due to a recent incident, long-standing conditions, or charismatic leader. An unknown disease is decimating the ecosystem. Plant blight, brain parasite, or fungal spore. Fungal spore, I mean, this one, the last one I read, seems to make the most sense. I gotta say, art gallery, swamp art gallery is a little tempting here, I gotta say. If you guys get any thoughts, I might grab some of the rest before I make my final decisions. Because then we gotta get the story deck. So now we have things to put in your region. And these are attributes. So I think you're supposed to be laying these out like tarot cards, because as you can see, now this one has something on each of the four sides, while the attribute cards were split one on each side. We got religiously diverse, known for street food, seasonal flooding, carnivorous plants. Carnivorous plants, that does fit in the swamps. You know, Venus flytrap is from my area. North Carolina doesn't claim much to be proud of, but First in Flight and Venus flytraps are two big ones. Known for ruins, known for regional legume, values unity, and distinctive footwear. Now that's just fun. Oldest of its kind, wildlife mating grounds, oral history tradition, known for specific superstition. Gosh, these are good. Maybe I should have just drawn one of these. No, I'm gonna do two, because I can't decide. One of them seems like it's like going towards something that's obvious. While that might make a tight little story, I kind of want to see one go weird. So my swamp one seems to be getting a lot of things coming up that you can work with. So we got our swamp with our carnivorous plants, and we got an unknown disease in the ecosystem, decimating it. You know, decimate means reduce by 10 or 10,000. Yeah. It's a specific number. We usually use it to mean just big. And I'll take the grassland for the other one, the weird one. If anybody else wants to chime in, please do. A swamp can refer to the conditions around D.C., Florida, Louisiana. True. And eastern North Carolina. Always a fan of the stars going out, and we don't know why, but you do you. Madeleine Engel did a fantastic job with that, and a Wind in the Door. I have not read that in years, but that was my favorite of her series of books. Superstition regarding unusual shoes. Superstitions about going in barefoot in the swamp filled with carnivorous plants. Referred to by punishing a population by killing 10%. Thank you, Foreigner. Decimate is reduced population by 10%. Which is kind of a lot. All right, we got in the grassland, the stars are disappearing from the night sky. And we're sad. Hey, Daniel, thank you for the sub. That's very exciting. I have the wrong announcements up, but I don't care. Do I at least have a yay button? I don't think I have a yay button on the screen. Of course not. I can't have nice things. All right, nice things. The lack of nice things are my own fault, of course. There. I can get the yay buttons at least. All right, so for the grassland, we've got people are going on the superstitions or the shoes. Regional legume. I always want regional legumes. Distinctive footwear. I'm going for regional legume until somebody else says so. Now we got origin cards. These also have 4 sides that I guess you can slip under these. Okay, so we got founded by a child, origin of an unsolved riddle, shaped by a big collision or explosion, origin of an artistic masterpiece, site of a huge misunderstanding. That's my world. Shaped by a terrible storm, was once decimated by plague. The creator likes decimate, doesn't he? Built with blood money. Ew. Shaped by landslides, former habitat of an extinct species, former trading hub, site of an infamous heist. Wow. What are we thinking? I love site of a huge misunderstanding, but that just probably just makes me laugh. Origin of an unsolved riddle is fun. I think I'm going to say that the The swamp was a former, really not executive functioning well today. You guys have any thoughts? I can't see a swamp built with blood money. Or, of course, if it's like DC or Fort Lauderdale or something, that's true. Or the Outer Banks. The Outer Banks were probably shaped by a terrible storm and continue to be so. So I'll give us the shaped by a terrible storm. Got to lurk for a bit. Well, glad you came by, Daniel. Thank you. And the grassland has to be the site of a infamous heist. Stars are disappearing. We got the legumes. We might have footwear problems. I don't know. Namesake cards. What are these? Oh, I see. We got, I think these are supposed to work together because the landmark cards have two things. Cliff, sanctuary, gate, tunnel, bog, city, and then the namesake cards give you a little bit more flashy uses. Hissing, without fear, of guardians of the moon. So, for example, you could do cliffs of the moon. Wanton tunnel. Or tunnel of books. That walks of clay. Tunnel that walks. Gate of clay. Sanctuary of burdens. There's high of orchards and that dreams. So, city bog that dreams. I think we've already I'm already there, guys. I'm sorry. We've got bog that dreams in the swamp. But the rest of them we have tunnel and gate, cliff and sanctuary, and then we have the cards that give wanton, that walks, of books, and of clay. And of the moon, of guardians, hissing, and without fear. Hissing sanctuary. Can I interest you in a hissing sanctuary? Can I interest you in cliffs of clay? No, that's not interesting. Cliff of books. Gate that walks. That would be interesting. Wanton tunnel just really has me. Always got to go with dreaming bog. Yes. I'll let you guys decide the next one. If anybody has any thoughts, I don't know if you guys can see this very well. Zooming in, not something I've really learned to do with the crappy camera, which is this one. My brain has conflated carnivorous plants and legumes to envision a disturbing garden that feeds the plants meat in order to harvest the legumes. That works. Underpope wants a cliff of books. You got it, my friend. The cliff of books is near the grassland. All right, so that's our 6 cards. That's the story engine. Or that's the deck of worlds. So we've got a bog that dreams in the swamp. And the swamp has carnivorous plants. It was shaped by a terrible storm, and an unknown disease is decimating the ecosystem. And probably killing all the Venus flytraps. Did you know that you can't poach Venus flytraps? Big no-no in North Carolina. Do not poach Venus flytraps. And in our weirder world, we have the grassland that has the cliff of books. They're known for the regional legumes. They're a site of an infamous heist. And stars are disappearing from the night sky. In a way that Madeleine L'Engle would no doubt be proud of. Did I ever tell you guys, it's like my kids have it too easy these days complaint has to do with the fact that when I was a kid, I wrote letters to all my favorite authors. And Madeleine L'Engle wrote back. It was mostly a brochure, like explaining some of her books and like the Austen family tree, which didn't matter to me because I hadn't read the Austen books. But she did write a little note. So I got a little note from Madeleine L'Engle when I was a kid. These days, you just, if you can get someone to see your message in social media, they can reply to you. I think smaller authors have it easier to do that than like Neil Gaiman. But we got an ad break coming in anyway. So I'm going to set up the story engine and we will return with the story engine when the ad break's done. And those of you who are still here can just hang out, I guess, and watch me put it together. I had to write to Harvard when I was in elementary, and they sent me a huge swag bag from their athletics department. Wow. That's pretty cool. I'm grabbing large handfuls. I'm probably not going to go through all of these, but I want to put this box away somewhere, so. What's funny is I can't remember if I took the little expansion packs and put them in here. I'm not sure if I did that or not, so we might get, like, dragons and cyberpunk. Oh, there's the ads now. Oh, the ad break will end in 31 seconds. I'm going to see if I can find I do have the Mythwalkers and Eternals cards. And see if that has any sort of... This is a very thick card. Okay, no guidance. None. They expect you to keep track of stuff. I'm very, very disorganized, y'all. Which should surprise no one. Ha! I found it! Found it. It's the kind of thing you find before the stream. Okay. Anyway, we'll see. We have the Deck of Worlds guidebook now. And we'll see that whether we did it right. We got... Okay, you can put... I see. You do micro settings. So you can grab... Like, here they grabbed our swamp card. And then they put where no bird sings and known for fossils. But then they put a settlement, site of a famous scientific discovery off to the side. Sorry, I'm not even on camera. And then also mentioned land dispute is underway over here. And so a couple of these cards... No, these are all the cards. Why was I thinking they were using... I guess because they laid it out differently. The desert here has more than one space. There's a vineyard and workshop, and then what is attributed to that. And they also have more than one orange card. What are the orange cards? The orange cards. Which ones are they? Namesake. So they have the namesake. They have the meandering desert that has the workshop that will never die, which is a haven for artists. So that's another... You can do world map, you can do micro settings. It's interesting. There's a lot of nuance to this. Perhaps I should go through this and learn it and then do a stream on it. Too late. We're already going. Here we go with the story engine. Let's see. In the story engine, we have agents, which are our people, engines, which are our motivations, anchors, which are objects, locations, or events of importance, I can talk, conflicts, which are obstacles, consequences, or dilemmas, I mean, you understand what conflicts are, and aspects are adjectives that describe other cards. So the simple story prompt is the seed. You draw an agent card. Let's see, we got a detective, a debunker, a historian, and a ghost hunter. Ghost hunter. Draw and place one engine to give them a motivation. Wants to learn how the world ended and their only lead is... Wants to find a cache location hidden on, in, or by. And then we get the anchor card to describe something they want. A coffin, a hymnal, a graveyard, or a chapel. I guess that works for the ghost hunter. Wants to find a cache location hidden in a graveyard. Sure. So we got a ghost hunter. Wants to find a cache location hidden in a graveyard. This all feels very straightforward, though. We might have to turn it around and flip some stuff. But the conflict is... But only the dead will know of their sacrifice, but they will not be able to confess their guilt to the living. I'm gonna move on. But they will have to trade their most precious resource, but their settlement will be exposed to deadly infection. Oh yeah, this is, I am using I think I'm using a expansion for that. Like the Doomsday Fallout type expansion. Let's try to go for. But it will be the only thing they're remembered for, but it will cost them their last connection to humanity. Humanity, sure. And then get an aspect to describe the card. Describe another card. Enduring, zombified, jury-rigged, or unforgiving. Again, I've got my, I think my post-apocalyptic thing. Smart, mobile, addictive, privately owned. For some reason, privately owned graveyard amuses me. So we have, to start at the top again, we have a ghost hunter who wants to find a cache location hidden in a privately owned graveyard, but it will be the only thing they're remembered for. It still seems like a low-stakes conflict, doesn't it? Underpope says, Ghost Hunter wants to find a hidden cache of cash near the swamp scene of notorious heist. Or was that the grasslands? I think the grasslands was the heist. The grasslands was the heist. Deadly infection fits the existing location. Fair enough. Corpse even own your corpse. Peak capitalism via Martha Wells. Indeed. Everyone go read the Murderbot series. But don't nominate it for any awards because Martha Wells has pulled it off the table because it has won enough awards, according to Martha Wells. So, these are more interesting. There are ways to, let's say, if you want to make a setting-driven story, we're going to put our privately owned graveyard and our bog that dreams for now. And I'm going to do an example of an item or setting-driven story. So you draw 2 anchor cards and place one as an object. What do we got? We got a cabin, an abattoir, a knife or a trophy, a hiding place, a well, a set of keys, a flashlight. I really want to go with the set of keys because I love multiple MacGuffin stories. I was just thinking about The Lost Room earlier today. I loved that series. It did not end strongly. In part, I know that because I forgot how it ended. I didn't care. Once, like, the main male and the main female had to get together and have sex for reasons because they were a male and a female in a tense story, there was no chemistry. There were good actors, but there was no chemistry. They just had sex because, they had to. It's the story told them to. I don't know. But anyway, I love the concept of The Lost Room. I love Lock and Key is one of my favorite comics of all time. Lost Room is an all-time favorite nobody knows about. Yeah, Forerunner. I love that thing. It's stuck in my head, except for I don't remember how it ends because it's like it kind of faltered. But The Locked Room is like there was a room in the 1950s, like a dodgy little hotel room that something happened. And everything in the room gained a magical power and then just was like flung to the winds. And it's really weird. Like there's a bus ticket that will transport you to like down the road from the hotel itself or like 10 feet above. So you're always falling into the desert near the hotel. And there's the comb that will let you jump 6 seconds forward in time. And those are the 2 that I remember. There's a glass eye. I think there's a pencil. I don't know. But, and the whatever you do to the room, once you close the door, it always resets itself, which is how a little girl gets lost. Because she runs into the room, the door closes, and he opens it back up, and the little girl's gone. I also don't remember how he got her back. I tell you, it's like once the 2 characters who had no chemistry had sex, I was just like, you know what, this feels like it had me so hard, and then, I don't know. If you're not familiar with Greg Stolze's Unknown Armies, it's a very similar postmodern magic, weird stuff setting. Okay, is that a comic, or what are we looking at here? Comic books? But anyway, going back to this, I'm going to say a set of keys, but I'm going to leave it up to you guys if you want anything else of these 4, or these 8. I'll remind you. A trophy, a knife, a cabin, an abattoir, a flashlight, a hiding place, a well, or a set of keys. RPG system with associated stories. Interesting. Thank you. Because I need more RPGs to read. I'm funny. Set of keys. We good? To those of you listening to the podcast later, there's a little bit of lag between the streamer and the audience. So sometimes that makes us feel like just waiting and no one's listening. And then you realize people have listened. It's just time. Or if it's me, I'm like in the kitchen with my tablet doing two different things at once and someone asks me specifically a question, I have to run back and answer it. So I'm going with a set of keys. All right. Tuck the other as a setting under it. Setting for it. So a set of keys in an abattoir. Nah, a set of keys in a cabin. Abattoir seems more interesting, but my mind is a blank about what you would do with a set of keys in an abattoir. After a locked room conversation, you got to go with the keys. Fair enough. Draw 3 gears. What are the gears? Gears are the engine card. That makes sense. Draw 3 gears and place one as the effect the object will have on the story. It might help to ignore the phrasing of wants to and use will instead. I'm just going to grab 3. Hopefully I got some different kinds. Okay. Will conduct blackmail on or with. Will arrange the release of. Wants to cure the virus and their only lead is. No, that doesn't work. Wants to outwit or overpower the warlord who controls. Will create a distraction with. Wants to perform an assassination with. Oh, assassination. It's assassination keys. Yeah, we got our assassin keys, murder keys. Draw an anchor and a person and choose one to place as a story element affected by the setting. Okay, we got an agent and we got an anchor. The agent is a warlord or a reaver or a sawbones or a junk seller. Wow. They really did go all in on the post-apocalyptic thing. I kind of want to know what the difference is between a sawbones and a reaver, but I kind of don't. Anyway, so, and the anchor card is a shotgun, a hunt, a backwood, or a round of ammunition. Junk seller. We got a junk seller. We got request for a junk seller. Okay. Choose one place as a story element affected by the setting. So we've got our assassinating set of keys in a cabin and a junk seller, a backwood junk seller. Sawbones is a doctor. That makes sense. I just sort of see them both as somebody who cuts. So that's like, that was where I was getting them, not confused, but thinking of them as similar. All right, draw 2 agent cards and choose one to tuck under any anchor to establish a character who owns it. So I guess we're getting who owns the keys now. Draw 2 and choose one. Okay. A caravan guard, a gladiator, an underdweller, a survivalist, a junkie, a road warrior, a looter, a slave. Well, we're not going to play with slaves. Who owns the set of keys? Or the backwood junk seller? Which one is it? Choose one to tuck under any anchor to establish a character who owns it. So any anchor. Is that, I guess that's a new anchor? You didn't say draw an anchor. I'm confused. Okay. Who owns a doll, a vessel, a rocking chair, or a nursery? Looter, gladiator, caravan guard, survivalist. Survivalist and a doll? If the sawbones was still available, I could use that, but that's already used on the junk seller card. Gladiator and doll. That's where we're going. All right, optional. Draw a... What? I don't remember what they all are. I just see the colors and draw a conflict card. And place or discard it to create an obstacle or consequence for one of the characters. So we got a backwood junk seller and a gladiator who has a doll. But it will cause a rift among their allies, but it will unite their enemies. Obstacle or consequence from one of the characters. So I guess we're back to the keys. The keys will cause an innocent person to be executed or allow a criminal to go free, which could lead to the gladiator and the doll. But a widely used technology will become unstable. It will set a mass extermination in motion. Are we still in our swamp? But they will look to the person closest to them. But it will mean joining the enemy. Enemy? but it will make them a fugitive. Okay, so we got two characters, our gladiator and our junk seller. They want to perform an assassination with a set of keys in a cabin, but it will make them a fugitive. That sounds likely. But it will mean joining the enemy, lose the person closest to them, join the anemone. Okay. Mur stutters, and we suddenly have a conflict. But it will mean joining the sea. And then we're drawing 3 aspect cards and tucking any number of them. Hard scrabble, hopeful, radioactive, cleansing, jury-rigged, unforgiving, enduring, zombified, top of the line, long range, unlisted, unassuming. So, let's get a word for our gladiator. Hopeful, enduring, unassuming, radioactive, unforgiving, unlisted, an unlisted gladiator. Long range, cleansing or jury-rigged, zombified, hard scrabble. I don't know what hard scrabble means. Top of the line. Top of the line gladiator? What do you guys think? Unassuming. Our little innocent gladiator with the doll. Gladiator is unassuming. Unforgiving makes joining the enemy interesting. True. So we could have the backwood junk seller be unforgiving. Hard scrabble is like rough and tumble, literally referring to Dust Bowl type earth. Okay. And we can use our final card on to describe our set of keys or our cabin. Hard scrabble, hopeful, radioactive, cleansing. Or I can choose another one. They can't make me adhere to these rules. Mutated, primitive, out of control, exposed. None of these work. Mutated keys. Pre-war keys. Plague-bearing keys. Nihilistic keys. Cannibalistic keys. I kind of want to use that, but I don't know where it would go. Let's look at, I found my Mythbreakers and Eternal. This is where it gets into different genres. If we chose one of these, it could be like enigmatic, fickle, vorpal, omnipotent, jealous, golden, knowledge-granting, soothsaying, omniscient, prophetic, astral, apocryphal. Cleansing cabin appeals to me, though I don't know why. Good enough. A set of keys and a cleansing cabin. All right, so here's what we have. This is one problem with it. It's like you tuck everything and then suddenly you need to move one thing and it all falls apart. Okay, in our swamp, full of carnivorous plants, that was shaped like a terrible storm, an unknown disease is decimating the ecosystem in the bog that dreams. We have a ghost hunter who wants to find a cache location hidden in a privately owned graveyard, but it will be the only thing they're remembered for. Also in the story are an unforgiving backwoods junk seller who wants to perform an assassination with a set of keys from a cleansing cabin, but it will mean joining the enemy, who is probably an unassuming gladiator with a doll. Yeah, I should have done the movie announcer voice. I'm sorry. The vorpal keys make it really easy or really difficult to unlock your door. I don't know, Forerunner. I believe that's that's your decision. In a world, yeah. So yeah, that is the story engine. It's the guy who wrote this just did an amazing job making it very detailed. And the opportunities you have to make a whole bunch of different things are great. I think I would only I think one of the downsides is you should only shuffle in one of the expansions at a time. Because then you'll have a post-apocalyptic dragon dealing with a backwoods hacker looking for their vorpal carnivorous plants. But it's got a lot of expansions. There's Jackboots and Chainlink, a dystopian booster. I think this is the one I've already. Is this the one I've already opened? I can't tell. No. Cyberpunk booster, circuits and cybernetics. I told you there was cyberpunk. And Cog Hearts and Steam Souls, of course, the steampunk thing. And I had just opened up the mythology ones. Oh, this one is from the art team. The images, the art's really good. There's no, like, on some of this, it's just beautiful. So that's not beautiful. That's not okay. Then we got characters here again. A hag. So a trickster. I love that. I love that image. I love that. A god slayer. So yeah, that's the story engine. Does anybody have any questions, or does anybody want me to try anything else? I'm open. Oh, so normal Shadowrun Tuesday. Yes, indeed. Gotta go, but I'm seriously considering getting a starter pack for myself. Good idea, Lee. It's a good thing. I also bought his latest one is like a Game Master's deck, which I'm really interested to see. I supported that on Kickstarter, so I'm just eagerly waiting for that to show up. But yeah, this has been fun. I appreciate you guys. This is I hope listening or watching this has been as much fun as it has been making it. Whoops, I forgot to turn that bot off. Sorry. But yeah, this is the thing. The story engine and the deck builder. World builder. Excuse me. Yeah, when I get upset, my body decides we must shut down and sleep. Have trouble eating. Have trouble stress eating. I know, well, not trouble. It's just, that is not how my anxiety manifests. It's more sleep. It's no roaming pack of feral children shutting down a murder investigation, but that's a pretty high bar. I mean, quietly tucks the carnivorous legume farm in a pocket. Yes. It's all yours. Godspeed. I think I'm going to try to separate these into the proper things, because having this post-apocalyptic thing is a little disorienting. Yeah, my body deals with stress by getting sleepy as well. It's like all I can do is sometimes not take a nap during work. Oh wait, I'm mixing up the Doom gas mask with the Doom skull. We were using both of those. And then whatever the hell this is. That's a planet. I guess this is a sci-fi one. Long range, top of the line, I'm assuming. Yeah, that makes sense. The art was different on the various packs, so hopefully they won't be too hard to separate. That's true. But they've all got a tiny little image there. I don't know if we can... That's supposed to be like a little Saturn. I don't know. But yeah, if anybody wants me to play with them again, or do another world, or do another thing, or if you want to start with something specific and then move on to random things, I can do that too. I am very accommodating. I have a whole bunch of sci-fi all at once. Yay. Yeah, but you're right. The art is different on each one. This is one of those things that just makes it a really, really amazing product, because you could, just put a whole bunch of prompts on some index cards. But no, they they made it so you tuck some cards to modify, and then they made all this amazing art. Not all the cards have art, as you can see. This is the aspect card, and all it's got is, for you listening at home, it's got 4 different colors, 4 quadrants with each, I can't even describe this. I'm not good at describing things. I'm great. So it's got a laughing mask in the center, and then the words are all around the sides, and it's a pleasing different shades of green. And so this is the kind of card that you just tuck underneath another one. It's nice that you don't have to come up with the prompt with this. You just go, tell me the thing, and then you let your imagination do the crockpot cooking. Yes, and it looks like we've done another ad, this time without a warning. So why does Twitch do that? Is Space Valkyrie still around? Because this is something I don't get. It's like they warn you about a minute ahead of time for the first ad. Second ad, boom, just happens. By the way, if this spurred any idea in you and you're worried about using it, worry not. Just go and play. I have no Deck of Worlds expansions, so I think these are all the same. Yes. Good. I'm here, but ads like that. I try my best to run 3-minute ads to keep them away for 1 hour, but ads are the worst. Last time I streamed, I tried to run an ad at the very beginning during the stream starting soon thing, and I still got an ad at 30 minutes. So I don't know what I did wrong or what. Is there a better way to do that? Does my ad button not work? I got a lot of problems with these buttons. Sometimes my Stream Deck just decides to remake itself and reset itself and has a mind of its own and all that. So, if anybody wants me to use a different deck, you want to see what Steampunk World would look like, happy to do that. I'm just having fun and whining for you not to make me come up with things. Thank you, Ian. What were the other expansions besides Steampunk? We got Steampunk, we got Jackboots and Chainlink, which is a dystopian booster, and we got Circuits and Cybernetics, which is a cyberpunk booster. And then we've got the Myth Walkers and Eternals that I showed a couple of cards from, but we didn't use any of the cards. And then there might be other ones I very stupidly mixed in here, but I'm not sure. Oh wait, we got a Cthulhu one. We got a tentacle here. Oh right, Dark Crafts and Ancient Horrors. We got that one too. So glad I mixed all these together. Thank you, former Mur. It was a great idea to shuffle all these together. You're so curious about the cyberpunk. Alrighty, K Kimmy. We will hook you up in a moment. Kinda trying to do too many things at once here. Surprise, surprise, I have ADHD. How are you? Okay. Just trying to get the base thing back together. Here's another tentacle, some more sci-fi things. You know, when I graduated from college, a friend of mine gave me a pen with my name on it that actually had a knife in it. Funny things they made back in the 90s before they were afraid of everything from knitting needles to shoes in the airports. But anyway, I loved that knife pen, and when the pen ran out of ink, I still had a knife. But alas, it is gone. I'm very sad. I missed my pen knife. Here we go. Now, do you want me to lay this out, or do you want me to just show you some of them? Let me clean up some of this while you guys answer. I'm happy to do either. Just a sample is good. Okay. Circuits and Cybernetics. All right. So we're going to start with our agents. We have Information Broker, Fence, a Scrapper, a Lookout, Neural Net, Data Miner, an Android, of course, Bounty Hunter, Martial Arts Master, corp boss, and a gun runner. Cryptographer, stim junkie, black market dealer, a raver. And you know, if you remember, you can mix these up. I mean, you can just make a complicated person this way, because you can have a stim junkie super soldier or an android lookout. Then we get 2 engine cards. Wants to bring down the big corporation with, wants to get the data from a microchip hidden in or on, wants to follow the tracking device planted on or in, wants to make contact with an informant through app. And now we got our things, also known as our anchors. Terminal, corporation, exoplanet, a holodisk. Android bounty hunter, yes. Transplant microchip, an operating room, a bioenhancement. Another rave. We got a raver and a rave. Stimulant, warehouse, power suit. Lead-lined van, an EMP, a sewer, and a heist. That's a lot of different things. Safe room, data bank, an implant, a password. And 2 conflict cards. But an unethical corporation will gain a monopoly. But they will live the rest of their life on the run. But they will be erased from the net forever, but all their secrets will be leaked. I think we're getting our android bounty hunter running the risk of being erased. And now we have our aspects, which are descriptors: souped up, self-aware, hedonistic, corporate, modified, idealistic, haywire, freelance, proprietary, compromised, synthetic, hardwired. So, let's just build something at random. We have a cyborg. Wants to get the data from a microchip hidden in or on a power suit. Only 2 conflicts. But all their secrets will be leaked. And then I'm going to get 2 of these. Compromised. A compromised cyborg wants to get the data from a microchip hidden on a modified power suit. So, a compromised cyborg wants to get the data from a microchip hidden in a modified power suit, but all their secrets will be leaked. There's a query letter right there. That's a synopsis for a query letter. I want to talk about the word modified, because for a fiction writer, it is extremely useful. Some of us fear using any sort of weapon, like modern day weaponry, in our books, because we know that somebody out there will know more than we will and will call us on it. I remember when The Matrix came out, the people complaining that the shells falling from the helicopter when Trinity's using like the mega machine gun or railgun were not the right shells to fit the gun. It's just, there's a lot. That's a lot. And that when I took a workshop, I learned that all you have to do is use the word modified. If you use modified, you can get away with anything. Does a modified Glock shoot ammo for a shotgun? Sure, it's modified. Modified. We were very much on the modified train. I think I'm going to take some time to maybe do a side quest and separate these out. But I'm not going to make you guys watch this. I didn't turn off any of my devices. I apologize. I don't even know where my phone is. It's just making noise. Anyway, thank you guys for being with me today with my cranky modified machine gun shooting chocolate chips. Indeed. Yep, that's still bad. There we go. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me when I'm not at my best. A little bit tired and cranky. I am cranky. Just, I guess I haven't shown it, which is good. Which is what I wanted, you know? Wanted to not be cranky at you. You guys are awesome. Gotta find someone to raid. You know that I'm just gonna leave this here when I'm done. I'm just gonna leave the mess because just can't anymore. Right, who's streaming? Hello, phone that's been making noises. And yes, I don't look on my computer for various... DM Jazzy Hands is still playing Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, which I hear is one of the better ones. So...
Alright, we're compiling shaders.
Well, that's wrong. Why did you suddenly start making noises? I don't even understand. You know, if you yell at your phone, it listens. Yeah. Anyway, I am, I'll just be honest, I don't think I'm going to come up with a very solid streaming schedule until I get this book edit done. Because I've got a trip coming up. Yay, it's going to be an awesome trip. My kid's graduating, but it's also time away from my book. I'm going to stream when I can. I've got a couple of interviews planned, so I think I'll keep to my Thursday streams to do I Should Be Writing. I want to do other streams, but I can't until I finish the book. That's just pretty much what's happening. So, but I'm going to be I'm going to be recording another Ditch Diggers with Ursula next week, hopefully. Need to talk to Numbers Ninja, and I need to talk to Devo Spice about adding Ursula to all of the elements around Ditch Diggers. See what we can do there. And, yeah, just hope to get the dang book done and then get back to connecting with you guys. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the stream. If you want to catch the stream, it's Thursday afternoons on twitch.tv/MightyMur, and it is 3 p.m. Eastern Time, usually. My name is Mur Lafferty. You can find my books most places books are sold. You can find my podcast most places where podcasts are distributed. I lucked out with a weird and yet very Googleable name. So if you remember nothing else, you remember Mur Lafferty, you can find my stuff. Or go to murverse.com. You know, things are so crappy right now, I'm not even going to have any shame. The magazine I co-edit with Valerie Valdez, Escape Pod, is a finalist for the Hugo Award. If you are a Hugo voter, consider voting, number one. Number two, consider including the best semi-prozine in your voting. People don't always vote for every category, and that's okay. And consider Escape Pod when you do so. Vote for us, I'm just saying consider us. And we're going to, and you know, when you gotta remember that everything passes, you'll pick yourself up. But if you're anything like me, you need to allow yourself to feel like crap. Hopefully next time we talk, I'll be cheerier. I'll have a kid in the house again. Grown-ass adult, but still a kid. And we'll be able to tell you I've gotten so far into my book. It's amazing. But until we talk again, you should be writing. Thank you for listening to I Should Be Writing, the longest-running writing podcast in existence. Theme music provided by John Anelio. Art provided by Numbers Ninja. And podcast hosting provided by Libsyn. This episode is released under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 license. You can find all of my books and podcasts at murverse.com.